Says I'm live. I'm scared. Hopefully some of you guys come along. I think some of you are here. I think 30 of you are here. Wow, already. This is exciting. Let me know in the comments if you're here, because I don't know if I'm seeing that right. This is very exciting. I'm really nervous, guys. Like, I always get nervous beforehand. Like, I really have like a heart. I can see you guys starting to come in. This is so exciting. So this was going to be me and Alan going through our favourites, but he's really tired. So he's missing it tonight. But next time we do a live, next week probably, hopefully he'll join. And then maybe I'll be too tired and you can just spend an hour with Alan. I'm just kidding. We'll do it together. So I can see Princey Pessa says, nice to see you. It's nice to see you here too. Franca says hi. Miss Lucky the cat says hi. It's good to see you back again. Kristen says hi. Rania says hi. This is exciting. So I think what I'll do, guys, I'm going to go through some of my current favourite things. I haven't done a favourites video or anything like that for a very long time, potentially like a year. I don't know when it was. It was a really long time ago. So I'm going to go through some of my favourite things at the moment, all kind of homey bits. And then I can see what you guys are saying in the chat and we can just chat together. And if you have any questions, we can go through those. Let me know how you're all doing. Obviously, it's a hard time at the moment and hopefully this is going to be a good distraction. It's a good distraction for me to do this. And hopefully it's a nice distraction for you guys. You can relax and watch it. And if you're not watching it live, I'll save it and then upload it. So if you can't stay for the whole thing or you miss some of it, you should be able to watch. And it's nice to see you guys saying in the comments that you hope everyone's having a good week too. That's lovely. And current favourite fragrances, that's a very good idea. I forgot to bring that with me, but I will touch on that now just so I don't forget. And also, Alan, could you just pass me my things I left on the table? Okay, favourite fragrance has to be Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle. 100% would recommend. Like, it's just beautiful. I talk about it all the time. Ever since I've got it, I've talked about it. Thank you. Thanks. And it's a beautiful scent. I wore it on my wedding day. Every time I've worn it to work, I get multiple compliments from it, even from people who would never like compliment on a fragrance or anything like that. They always say that like something smells really good or what perfume I'm wearing and ask about it. So that is without a doubt my favorite perfume. Second to that would probably be Le Labo's Another 13, and it was always equal. I could never tell, although I think lately it's kind of surpassed it. So now Portrait of a Lady really is my number one. I absolutely love it. I'm seeing more of you come in as well. So hopefully, Dominic, that helped answer the favorite fragrance question. Let me know what your guys' favorite fragrances is. I've seen Miss Lucky the cat says, I miss fragrance shopping. I do too, but my bank thanks me. That's very true. It's hard to go and smell fragrances with a mask on. We can't even go out in London now, so couldn't even if I wanted to. Nancy says hi from Boston. Katie Ono says hello from Russia. Ita Brown says good evening. TJ says hello from London. Mariana says hi, happy to see you. Jamie says hi. So this is exciting. We've got a lot of us all from over the world here tonight. So if you guys are happy for me to go ahead, I'm going to start going through my favourites now. And you guys can let me know in the chat your favourites. I just thought this might be quite a good way for us to have something to focus on. Hopefully, I get worried that these things are boring, guys, because I'm kind of just sitting here. But I really love chatting with you guys, like seeing the chat come up and down and seeing you guys say hi. Like Audrey's saying hi. Daniel says he's in Auckland. Wow, what time is it in New Zealand right now? One of my really good friends is actually from New Zealand. There's quite a time difference. So Dawn Marie says hello from Florida. Susan says hello from Canada. This is very exciting. Hello from Warwick, previously Kilburn. That's JJKK. So this is great. I could just read this all night. So I'm going to start off with, we'll start with something I use every single day, and that is my fairy Birkenstocks. Obviously, Birkenstocks are typically like for outdoors, but I decided a very long time ago that I wanted to buy some fairy Birkenstocks just for the house. So I got them for during the winter, Alan actually got me these for my birthday in November, which was just such a great present. I love the shade of grey they are. Typically, you might have seen people wearing these furry Birkenstocks in the brown colour. I think that's probably really, really popular. And I originally was looking for the brown colour, but it was sold out everywhere. And then suddenly in November, they brought out this grey shade, which if you watch my vlogs, you would have seen. But I think it's so gorgeous because it's quite a light grey, but they're fluffy. They work really well for the winter. But then, you know, in London, in England, I'll probably be able to wear these in spring and a bit in summer when it's not heat wave. So these have been an amazing purchase. Definitely a really nice slipper. You also feel really firm in them, like you feel grounded and supported in them because they're Birkenstocks. They support like the arch of your shoe and of your foot, and you're not walking around in a shoe, which isn't really great for your feet. So I've probably reached that age where I'm like, I should think about my feet a bit more. And that's what these are, but they're so comfy. And I'm even thinking like, I mean, we're not going anywhere, but I did have a thought of buying a second pair of these, maybe in the brown, to wear with thick socks with trousers to wear to work because I'm so hooked onto them. But that was what I was thinking before Christmas when I thought I was going to be going back to work full time in January. I mean, I am full time at work, but I meant full time in the office. Whereas because we're back in lockdown, I'm not going in the office right now, so I don't need to really buy anything to wear to the office. But anyway, these are definitely a favourite. I wear them all the time. True to size. I got them in a 5, like most of my shoes, and they're great. Let me know what you think about those. Maria says, have you tried an UGG slipper? I personally haven't tried an UGG slipper. I did get my mum UGG slippers, and sometimes I would, slip hers on when I would go in the house. So I guess I have tried them, but I've not tried them for a long period of time, maybe just like, a couple of hours. And I have to say they're very comfortable. The quality is very good. I think they lasted my mum 3 years. And then they just fell apart because she'd worn them every day. So an UGG slipper is an option, but I love Birkenstocks. And with these as well, like they do keep your feet warm. Sometimes just for extra warmth on my toes, I'll put socks on with them, like how I've got today, some socks. And Alan's got the Boston version of these, so the toe is covered. And those are really good as well if you're in a really cold climate. You could have those. To Jacqueline says fun pattern socks. These socks my sister got me for Christmas about maybe 5 years ago, and they have a robin on, which is really sweet. Let's see if you guys have said anything else. Lola says hi, but that she's got to go, but wants to say hi, so that's nice. Hi. And I will save this later for any of you watching if you can't stay for the whole thing, that you'll be able to catch up later. And that's nice. The Sourcing Brunette says, Happy New Year, everyone. That's very true. I should have said that too. Happy New Year, everyone. I've not really been in the New Year mindset, maybe a little. I find it really hard to keep track of time when I've been in lockdown for so long. I mean, it only just really started a couple of days ago, but me and Alan didn't really go out at all over Christmas, maybe just a couple of times on walks. So in my head, it's a lot longer than it is. So Miss Lucky the Cat says, I bought the Birkenstock Bostons as my work from home shoe, so I don't feel like I'm in slippers all day. That's a great idea. I love the Bostons. They're such great shoes. You just slip them on. They look good with everything and they're really comfortable. Mo says, you've been looking everywhere for shearling Birkenstocks. The Birkenstock website is the best place. I tried to see from like ASOS or other places because you can sometimes get discount with them, but I couldn't find them anywhere. If you're based in the UK, also have a look on John Lewis because they have the shearling Birkenstocks as well on the John Lewis website. But again, they might be sold out because they're just so popular. But that's why I quite liked that I was able to find this grey colour, because the only other colour before that I'd seen available was the all black with the black shearling, and I didn't really want that. I wanted something a bit lighter for around the house. I need to take a breath because I'm talking so fast, and like, you know, when you're nervous and then you're talking fast and then you just can't breathe. That's how I'm going to end up. Oh, maybe we can do it together. We can all take a deep breath together. That's quite nice to do. Okay, so Jamie says favorite jewelry piece you own, or the ones you wear the most often. So I think the ones I wear the most often are probably my rings. I really love rings. Until I got married, I didn't really wear any jewelry apart from like, I always have something in my tragus, piercing, and then usually earrings. But before I got married, there was a time when I didn't even wear earrings. I wouldn't wear rings. I wouldn't wear anything. And then I was saying to Alan, like, I don't even know if I'm going to wear a wedding ring. Like, that's how little jewelry I wore. Then I was looking, I don't even remember how it happened. I think it was last September or last August. Because I said to Alan, like, oh, I don't even think I'm going to wear a ring or anything. Like, me and Alan decided, like, together, like, let's get married. It's not like there was a proposal or something where Alan went off and bought me a ring. So I was like, obviously, when we decided we're going to get married, we talked about rings. Alan was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to wear a ring. I was like, I don't think I'm going to wear a ring. And that was the end of it. But then around August, September time last year, I think I heard somewhere or read somewhere that sapphires are the birthstone for September, and Alan's birthday's in September. So then I got it in my head, like, oh my God, that would be amazing to have a sapphire ring. And it kind of represents Alan, and I could have that as like my, you know, wedding ring, engagement ring. So then me and Alan started looking at sapphires. So we got my sapphire last September, but he didn't give it to me until November. We'd said that rather than it being like an engagement ring, although most of the time I will call this my engagement ring just because it sits on top of my wedding band, and typically that's what it is. But this is technically a 10-year anniversary present. So Alan gave this to me in November on the day that we met 10 years prior, last year. And it's got 2 little diamonds either side of it, and then a sapphire in the middle. And the sapphire is really dark, and I love that. I love that the sapphire is dark. We looked at a few different sapphires, and it kind of came clear to me very quickly that I didn't want a light sapphire. I view myself as quite like a dark person, like on the inside. And I don't know if this is going to make any sense. I once told my mum that my heart is black, which sounds really odd, but I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost like being a bit of a cynic. Like, I've always been like a positive person and seen beauty in things, but there's a side to me which is very like, I don't even know how to explain it. And this is where having Alan here would be very helpful, because I don't know how to explain it. Basically, I'm a Scorpio, and there's a shadow with me, I feel like, and especially now. Before I start seeming like I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just going to go back to my ring. So that's why I wanted a dark sapphire rather than a light sapphire. Like, I'm more of a rough around the edges person than a flowy person. Does this make any sense? I don't know. So anyway, so I got that ring, and then I was going to get, I'll show you guys. It's quite like a thin band. It's white gold, and it's got 4 prongs around the dark sapphire and 2 little diamonds on the edge. And I was going to get a very slim white gold wedding band to match. Then after my mum died, I decided, you know, I should have her wedding ring because she'd given it to me already, because my mum's wedding ring had become too small for her. So she got a new one, and then she gave me this one to look after. So I already had her wedding ring, which was really good. So I thought, I'll wear that. Why didn't I just do that sooner? Then I've also got my mum's engagement ring, which sometimes you might have seen me kind of switch between wearing my one and wearing my mum's. Sometimes I find with my outfits, especially in the summer, the dark sapphire doesn't really look right. Like, something feels off about it. So that's when I would typically wear this one. But what I've been doing lately is wearing these 3 rings together like this, or 4 rings. And I really like how it looks. So that's my mum's. And then this ring here is a little bit tight, so I want to get it resized once shops open again. But this is a little signet ring with an A on it. And I got this a few years ago. This is from Jewelry. You can see on my finger where it goes red, it's a little bit tight. And that's gold. And I quite like how those mix together, because then also I'm wearing this chain, which is from Jewelry. And then usually I'll wear with it 2 other pendants. One of them's a locket and one's a little pendant, but I don't have those on right now, and that's my favorite jewelry. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sorry guys, I'm a slow reader. J-Tam says, what are my glasses? So these are Ace and Tate, and they're really good. I've had them for like, what was it, like a year, 2 years, guys? 2 years probably. And they last really well, and they're only £98, including the lens. And I have quite bad stigmatisms in both of my eyes, and they cater to that with the lenses, price included. So they're really good. I'd recommend them. Jacqueline says, I notice a lot of younger couples our age are opting out of rings, and it's so interesting. Yeah, I think so. You know, the thing is with, like, Alan doesn't wear a ring. He has been thinking about getting one, but he's not sure yet. I'm not really bothered if he wears a ring or not. Sometimes I think it would be nice. Sometimes I'm like, whatever, like, he doesn't wear jewelry, it's fine. I think I'm okay with it because my dad never wore a wedding ring. So I'm very, like, to me, it's very normal for men not maybe to wear a wedding ring. And then for myself, I never wore jewelry either. So I was thinking, you know, I don't wear jewelry, I'm not going to get a ring. But then because I thought of the sapphire, and it kind of just built up from there. And my love of jewelry has literally just skyrocketed over the last, 12 months, from wearing really no jewelry to absolutely loving jewelry. This is very interesting. So petite le sous fait sans nid. I think I've said your username very badly, but it's quite long, sorry. Says the dark side is the ego. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. I think it also kind of feels to me more just like not being like prim and proper. Like, I feel like I'm rough around the edges and like a bit dark inside. I don't know how to explain it. Like, when I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe it is the ego. It's very interesting. Oh, Dawn Marie says, I'm a Scorpio too. I describe myself in similar terms. I think, yeah, maybe it's something that you guys, fellow Scorpios, can relate to. And then Susan says the same. I'm a Scorpio and can relate to the dark side. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? And then Jacqueline says, I think too much pressure is put on rings. And I agree. That's very true. And I think it's also like, sometimes I think when I was thinking not to have a ring, it was also because I didn't really feel like being like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I think because me and Alan decided mutually to get married, part of me was like, felt a bit odd about wearing an engagement ring because we were engaged because we were getting married. Like, classically we're engaged, but I never viewed us as being engaged because we had come to this place together to take that step to make our relationship legal. It wasn't like, I mean, it is romantic, but it wasn't like this grand romantic thing. It was very like logistical. I started to get worried that if something happened to me, Alan would have no rights and vice versa. So that's why we got married. So I don't know. Yeah, the pressure on rings, like, I think it can become pressure, like, to have a ring a certain look or a certain size. And I think that's why I also love the idea of the sapphire. Like, it's not the main stone, and like diamonds are very, very expensive. So it's something a bit different. It also looks quite vintage, and I really like it. Jacqueline says, will you give it to your sister if she's married? My sister's already married. She's been married for 6 years. Nearly 7 next month, I think it is. So she's already sorted. Do you have any, Daytime says, do you have any favourite loungewear? I found that loungewear has been popular as of late because we're staying at home these days. Very true. So I actually got some loungewear with me to show you guys for favourites, so we can go to that next. These are the softest tracksuit bottoms. They're by American Vintage, which looks like this. They're not cheap, but American Vintage has a sale at the moment. They're literally just like plain grey joggers. They're so soft, I can't even tell you how soft they are. They are quite thin, the ones that I got, so I think these would probably be better for springtime, but for wearing around the house, they're perfectly warm. But I have found that when I'm outside wearing these, my legs get a little bit chilly just because it's so cold at the moment. But these are wonderful. American Vintage, great loungewear. The weird thing about American Vintage is I tried the large on in the bottoms, and they were too big. So I got a medium in the bottoms, and then I tried a large on in the jumpers, and the jumpers are too tight on me, which is really odd because typically with my body shape, I'm an hourglass. So typically I'll be smaller on top and larger on the bottom, but for some reason with American Vintage, it's the other way around. So that's something to bear in mind with sizing if you're similar shape to me. And then for jumpers, this is a LHLL, and high pitched, little high, little low jumper. This is a large, it's massive. This is the Cobain crew. Is it the Cobain? I always forget. I think so. And this is super comfortable, very pricey, but super comfortable. I wear it nearly every day. So that's loungewear. Really recommend looking at American Vintage. Sorry, I'm getting an itchy nose. So Bella Black says favorite podcasts. I really like Estee Lalonde's podcast. I like Lily and Anna's podcast, which is At Home with Lily and Anna. And then if I have my phone here, there's other podcasts that I really like. I'll go through some more and then you guys can make notes. If you haven't heard the, what was it, Sugar? God, my mind is so ridiculous. It's completely gone blank. Sugar, it's not Sugar, something Sugar. Dear Sugar, there we go. Dear Sugar, that's a great podcast. I've listened to all the episodes because it's finished now, but it basically is like two people going through, like people writing letters to them, and then they give a response to like people's problems. So if you like that kind of thing, Dear Sugar is great. Okay, other playlists I listen to at the moment. I love Oprah Winfrey's Super Soul Conversations. Like every time they're released, I listen to those. And then sometimes I do listen to the Goop podcast. I also really like Kalechi's podcast. I don't want to say her surname wrong, but it's called Say Your Mind. And this is the logo of it. I'm not sure if you're gonna, can you see that? This is really, 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 really good podcast, really insightful, and very important to listen to, I think. And if you're not following her on Instagram, her name is Kolechnikov or Kolech. Sorry, I'm so dyslexic. Kolechnikov, yeah, on Instagram, and she's so worth following. And then I also really like, I'm trying to have a look through what I've been listening to. I think the other one is on podcasts. Typically I use Acasts, the app. Okay, yeah, but on podcasts, some of them on Acast. So the ones I like on podcasts is Nova Reid's podcast. It's like Conversations with Nova Reid, and this is the image there if you want to see. Again, really, really insightful, worth listening to. Nova Reid is an anti-racism specialist. Like that's her career, that's everything she does. And the conversations she has on her podcast are fantastic. Here we go, that's Dear Sugars. Oops, if you guys are going to be able to see. Which is a really good podcast as well. Kathleen says, have you ever thought of traveling to Canada? Definitely. Alan really wants to go to Canada. So do I. But we'll see. We've got 2 trips booked for the end of the year currently, and we just don't even know if we'll be able to go on. Then they might have to be postponed again. So we'll see when we can travel again. But yeah, I would love to go to Canada. I would love a black diamond ring. That would be amazing. Me too. Anyone worth splurging on loungewear these days? Is it worth it? I think it's worth it depending on what is worth it to you. I always think that with splurging, like for me, I would rather have like really high quality things and less of them than buy rubbish that keeps breaking or doesn't look right and have to replace it. So for me, I do like to, I guess, splurge and invest on loungewear, especially these days. Like we're home all the time, we're in loungewear all the time. It's great for weekends even, you know, when we're not in lockdown. So for me, I do think it's worth it, but I think it depends on what's worth it for you, how much you're going to use it, and what makes sense for you. So Ben says, where's the print from behind you? I'm looking for something similar. So this is from Copenhagen, but we got it on a website. And I'm sorry, I can't remember what the website was. I know that's really unhelpful. This is like 3 years old, so I'm not sure, sorry, but it's the Copenhagen, is it the Christ Our Saviour Church? And this column up the top, it like twirls around and you can walk all the way up to the top. So that's pretty cool. Actually, let me just look at it and see if I can find more details. So it says it's by Wonderhagen. So maybe if you Google Wonderhagen prints, you might be able to find it. Ooh, Princey Pester says Grounded with Louis Theroux is a great podcast. I'm gonna have to listen to that because I really like Louis Theroux. Miss the Lucky Cat says How to Fail is a good one. My friend loves that podcast. Jamie says, did we make any New Year's resolutions? I think just to get through the year. I don't know if Alan has any. Do I have any New Year's resolutions? I have things for this year, like I want to look after myself a little bit better. I'm not very good at doing that. Sometimes like I go through phases of like being in a really awful place and then realizing I'm in an awful place and then looking after myself to try and get out the awful place. But in between, I don't really look after myself, which means I keep ending up in a very good place. So I think I want to look after myself better. I don't know about any other New Year's resolutions. What are you guys doing for New Year's resolutions? Oh, Ben found the website to the print. That's great. I'm glad you found it. Yeah, don't feel guilty about treating yourself. As long as it's within your budget and it's not putting anything else financially at risk for you, then treat yourself. You know, like if anything right now, we need a treat. And if you're going to wear it a lot and it's going to make you feel really good when you put it on, like for me, when I put on these incredibly soft loungewear sets that I now have, and a really nice pair of pajamas or something like that, like that's something you can look forward to. And we need something to look forward to right now. So treat yourself. I think we all would agree. Christina says hi. Jules says, am I your oldest subscriber? I'm 70. Making a real mess up sending message to you. You not at all, Jules. And I see your comments all the time and I absolutely love it when you comment and I love hearing from you. And I wonder if you are my oldest subscriber at 70. We'll have to see. If anyone can beat Jules in amazing ages, let us know. Do I feel more comfortable on my Tokyo bike riding in London? I definitely do. I feel really confident using the bike now. I've used it so much, so I definitely do feel comfortable on it. It feels sturdy, it feels secure, it feels more reliable than my last bike. So yeah, just put a helmet on and look both ways at all times. Sometimes if I feel a little bit like there's a lot of cars, I might slow down or take a break on the pavement just to like make sure I'm really focused. But yeah, I feel safe. Saying that, this morning I went out to go to the shops and this van, I was going down a one race, like it's not one way, but it's quite a small road. And it wasn't a van, it was a lorry was coming this way. And I think he was like looking to the left at something because he just kept driving. And I was like slowing down more and more, thinking he's not going to, like, we're going to end up going bang. But he just wasn't slowing down. So then I like stopped and then I was thinking, oh my God, am I going to have to go backwards because he just still kept coming? And then eventually he looked forward and stopped. And like I was like, what are you doing? Some people are so silly. Like, you don't need to be looking up the left. You should look straight ahead. These lives are going to end up being like Eva's lockdown rants at people trying to run her over. Yeah, that's nice, Jem. I completely agree. Jem said, I had a really tough year last year, so I haven't decided to make a New Year's resolution and just be kind to myself and keep grounded. Definitely. We have to be kind to ourselves. One of the things I have written in one of my books is to, let's see, what does it say? I've got like a list of things that I need to do when feeling rubbish, basically. So it's like a toolbox of things to, we can talk about this now actually, because my notebook is one of my favorites. These are the Port West notebooks. I've got two of them. I've got this orange one, which if you watch my vlogs, you would have seen loads. But this one is full now, and so I bought this one. And in here, I've got my toolbox. So this is what I do when I'm feeling, really low or just really griefy. I've got a list of things, and this can be helpful for you guys, so we can go through it. But the first one is not to take on too much. So if I'm feeling like very low or having really bad anxiety or just really in pain in my heart and not feeling good, don't take on too much. That's the first thing. Second, be kind to yourself. Third, do what feels good. So if you're doing something that doesn't feel good, there's no need for it. During that time, think about what does feel good to you and just focus on that if you can. Obviously, sometimes you're going to have to do some things that don't make you feel good, like taking out the bins. I hate taking out the bins. I really hate taking out the bins, but sometimes you just got to take out the bins. But most of the time, do what feels good. The next one is look after yourself like you would look after someone else. This is such a key one. So I'll be so harsh on myself, tear myself apart, and just really be unkind to myself. But if my friend or Alan or anyone else was going through, what I'm going through, I would, want to, cradle them and care for them and love them. So why do I not do that to myself? So look after yourself like you would look after someone else who's going through what you're going through. I think that's a really key one. And then we've also got go slow, just take it slow. Ask for help, which is a really key one. Like build up your support system. Really important to have that in place, especially during lockdown. And I found this one quite hard at first. I felt like my support system was very small and I didn't know who I could reach out to when I lost my mum. But a year later, I'm kind of seeing that your support system is something you build long term over time. And so it doesn't need to be instant, but asking for help from just like one person who you're close to or you might want to talk to can lead to you building your support system up. It can lead to you having support from someone. Even if you just need someone to help distract you for a little bit, they could help you with that. And again, asking for help from someone is just that first step of maybe even just talking to someone to build up your support system. So I think that's a really important one. And then next would be to move your body. I find this really hard. When I don't feel good, I just want to lie on the sofa. I'm trying to see what you guys are saying in the comments as well. But yeah, so most of the time, if I don't feel good, I just want to lie on the sofa or sleep. But going on a walk or just doing some yoga or some stretching can really help. One thing I find helps is maybe putting on some music and just trying to let myself dance to it. That's quite a nice one. Often I'll do that with Alan. We'll do a little dance if I'm feeling really anxious. We'll do a little dance together, and that can take me out of the anxious mind and out of the state, because it's quite like funny to like watch each other dance, and like that can be quite nice. So that's a good one. And then soothing touch meditation. This is where you put your hand on your chest. Well, this is one way to do it. You can put one hand on your chest over your heart, or you can put two, and you can do some deep breathing. You can also stroke your chest if you like that. That's very soothing. And if you're maybe in public or you're with people that you don't want to sit there and be going like this, you can also just stroke your own hands, stroke your leg. The brain thinks that someone is, comforting you. It doesn't necessarily think it's yourself. So soothing touch is a really good one if you're having a hard time. And then that last one is to have a bath, take a nap, or clean my space. Because sometimes you might feel tired, you might not want to do things, but if you can muster a little bit of energy just to do a tidy or a clean, it can be quite like a meditational thing, I find. Like when I'm cleaning the kitchen and I've got some music on, I'm just focused on the movements of cleaning the kitchen or singing to the music or breathing whilst I clean. And that can be quite relaxing. So those are the things in the toolbox, and hopefully that helps. It's hard when you've had a rough year and then things just continue. That's why you have to look after yourself, and hopefully going through some of those things, maybe you guys can take something from that in the next few days, in the weeks ahead, and see how that goes. So Vic says that she lost her mum nearly 6 months ago and has really put things into perspective. It's very hard. I'm 14 months into losing my mum. I still don't think I've accepted it, and it's very hard. So trying to live in the moment and not take life for granted is a very good one. And I think with loss, sometimes our minds can go that way. Also, Vic, sorry, I said she, but if you're not she, I'm sorry, I just assumed. So I'm sorry for assuming. But sometimes with like loss, you can go that way where you feel like, I'm not going to take life for granted. And other times it can feel bit like a shock, like, whoa, life actually can just end like that. Like, that's very shocking as well. So so many ways we can feel about it. But yeah, I'm really sorry to hear, Vic, that you lost your mum nearly 6 months ago. It's very hard, and you do have to take it, you know, a day at a time. And it's great that you're saying, you know, you don't want to take life for granted. I think one of the things I try to do is like remember to see the beauty in the small things. Like if the clouds look really nice, I'll think, oh, my mum can't see those clouds, so I'll look at them for her, or something like that. And that can help to kind of, I guess, appreciate the smaller things as well. Yeah, it is shocking. So Christina says, I lost my mum when I was 21 years ago. Wow, I just realised I've lived as long without her as with her. That's really hard. Christina, I feel like I definitely sometimes think about what age I'll be when that will be the case. And like, it's hard. It's so hard losing someone. Like, saying it's hard doesn't even count for it. Like, I think until you've had such a significant loss, it's not possible to understand what kind of world that puts you in. I feel like I'm most of the time living in some like world where like the veil has just been pulled under my feet. Sometimes I think I almost now I know what life is because I've seen it go from someone's body. Whereas before, like, I never used, like, before, if I thought of someone dying, I just thought, oh, you know, they're not there anymore. But it's so much more than that. It's such a huge emptiness. There's nothing like it. And I'm sorry to hear, you know, how many of you are experiencing that too, because it's horrible. You know, if we could all just die when we were old, I mean, it would probably still be hard. Yeah, Miss Lucky Cat says that I lost my father 8 years ago and he's still with me, as your mums are still with all of you. And that's very true. Like, our skin and bones are our mums and your dad, essentially, aren't they? Because they made us. So I try to think of that too. And I do that as well with the soothing touch. Sometimes if I'm really missing my mum, I'll stroke my arms and think my arms are my mum's arms. Like, when I stroke them, you know, like, my skin is here because of my mum and my dad. So that's part of them, which I'll always have on me. Sam says that mindfulness is great and is a helper to cope with difficult emotions. And I completely agree. That's why doing like that soothing touch and like breathing in, breathing out, feeling your heart beating under your hands, that can be a really nice thing to do, just to help you feel grounded within yourself again. I actually love doing this. I do it a lot. Do it all the time. Sometimes I'll do it to fall asleep. I really, really like it. Shalissa says, I feel like I have closer friendships with my friends who have also lost a parent. Yeah, I can see how that could happen, you know, having that understanding between you. Right, shall we talk about another favourite? Because I could really go in a hole otherwise. And I don't want you guys to go in holes either. This is meant to be a little bit of distraction. So we will try that again. And hopefully you guys, you know, can take something from what we were just talking about, even if you just sit for a moment and stroke your own chest. Let me know if you're doing that too, because it does feel really, really nice. Let's talk about hand cream, because who doesn't need hand cream right now? I don't know about you guys, but my friends, my hands and my fingers will fall off at some point because of the amount we wash our hands. And I've tried a few different hand creams, but the one that I've definitely found the best is actually what I bought Alan for Christmas, and it's the Kiehl's Ultimate Strength Hand Salve. And apparently this was made for builders in New York. So imagine they must really have some hands that need caring for. And this, I have to tell you guys, this is really good. Like, I don't use any other hand cream now. It's a really thick salve. I'll show you a little bit. And I'm so glad I got the bigger size because I've been stealing it all from Alan. You can see it's really thick. It rubs in really nicely and your hands just feel amazing after. Sorry, I had a hiccup, but yeah, your hands feel amazing after. If you're like, something I get when my hands get dry is the knuckles all cut and can get really sore when my hands are dry. So you can see like my hands considering are looking in really nice, you know, shape. That's because of this hand cream. So I really recommend it. This is definitely a favourite, and this would have been one of Alan's favourites as well, if he hadn't been so conky and already gone to bed. Veronica says, if you lose someone that is young, it makes you very aware of your own mortality. That's very true. But I think for me, I don't know for you guys, like I'm not so much scared of myself dying for myself. I'm more scared for the people who I'll be leaving behind, because I'm one of the people that's left behind from my mum. And honestly, guys, like it feels impossible to cope with. I'm going to be honest. It feels really impossible to cope with. Like I do things because I have no other choice. And I try find joy in them, and I try and feel, you know, the joy of something with the loss and with the sadness and with the pain. Sometimes, you know, one rides more than the other, but it definitely does give you that feeling of, you know, your own mortality and what that is. But I think it's also, for me, it is just worrying about the people I'm going to leave behind, because I know what that feels like now. I've reached 30, guys, and if I sit in the same position for too long, my legs get achy. Let's see, what else are you guys saying? I really hope that we've not gone too sad for you guys. I want this to be a good distraction, so hopefully you're enjoying it. I don't know, maybe is it a bit boring just with me? Next week we'll have Alan back, hopefully. Miss Lucky said, the cat says it's the Virgo in Alan. I'm the same way. I will happily be a granny and go to bed so I'm not tired and cranky. Yeah, I'm actually the same as well. Like if I wasn't doing this with you guys, I would have gone to bed too. But I really like doing this with you guys and checking in, and we can just have some time together. I feel like it's nice. Like sometimes when I make the vlogs, like I see your comments and I can see you're watching them, but this kind of feels a bit different because we're like sitting together. Although I'm just reading your comments, but it feels nice. It feels like you're with me. It feels like we're hanging out, which essentially is what this is. Yes, Madeline, good point. I wouldn't say someone else is boring, so I shouldn't say that about myself. You know, when you just think like, because I am with myself 24 hours a day, I don't see myself as being particularly non-boring on my own. But I guess you guys haven't seen me all day or been with me all day, so maybe it's not boring. Yeah, ML says early nights are the one. 100%. They are. Okay, next favourite. This is another self-care item which I have talked about quite a few times in vlogs, and that's a body brush. These are amazing. They literally make your skin so soft. There's so many like health benefits to them. They get rid of the dry skin, obviously, but they also really help with circulation, lymphatic drainage, and I just can't rave about it enough. Every time I have a bath or a shower, I use this. So, you know, every other day or so, I'm using the body brush. I noticed a huge difference in my skin. I don't know if you guys get this, but typically I would get little like spots on this part of my arm. I think that's quite a common thing. But when since actually the last year body brushing regularly, I don't really have any now. And I'm pretty sure it's because of the body brush. And these are also something that they say helps with cellulite. I don't think that's true, but maybe on some people it does. If you have cellulite, like it's, you know, I think it's like a hereditary thing apparently, and it's very normal, and it's not something that we need to get rid of or hide, I don't think. So I don't necessarily use it for that. So I haven't noticed myself if it does have an impact on that, but if that's something that you're interested in, you might be able to try it for that. For me, what I really like about it is the lymphatic drainage part of it, knowing I'm helping my circulation, and then the bonus is my skin is really soft. So really love these for some self-care. And you just brush upwards on your body really lightly, because these are quite rough bristles. Brushing upwards on your body until you get to the heart, and then when you're around here, you want to go downwards. So everything from under your heart, you go up, and then everything from over your heart, you go down, I think. But check out, there's loads of YouTube tutorials on how to do it. getting out of breath again. I get this a lot where, like, if I talk too fast or too much for too long, I get out of breath, and then I always get worried that people are going to think I'm pregnant because of my pregnancy symptom, but I'm not pregnant. I just feel like I have to say that because, like, as a married woman, people are like always thinking if you're pregnant, but I'm not pregnant. I don't know. This is why I shouldn't do lives. Like, when I say these things in vlogs, I just cut it out. But with a live, you get it all. Johnny says, have I missed much? Little bit, just 45 minutes worth. But welcome. Christina says, have you lived in London your whole life? And I have. I went to boarding school, but other than that, born in London. Always lived in London. So Veronica says, what's favourite music to dance around to? If it's with Alan, we love Queen or George Michael. Alan loves Barry White. Those are kind of the go-tos at the moment. I really like listening to musicals. So if Alan doesn't really like it so much, and I sing to them very badly. So if it's not with Alan, then I'll listen to musicals. But otherwise, if it's with Alan, then those people. So Carol says, can you tell us where and how you met your husband? He seems so caring, respectful, loyal, and charming. They don't make them like that anymore. That's funny. He is lovely. I got very lucky. Yes, so in our last live, Carol, which is saved on my YouTube channel, me and Alan went through how we met and like the lead up to us starting to go out. So I would recommend watching that, and Alan is with me in that video. So Schnault says, fave part of London, Soho. Soho is one of my favourite parts of London. I also love Barnes. I think Barnes is super relaxing to go to. You can see loads of great people watching spots, great dogs to look at, great little places to go to. And I also love Marylebone. I really like Shoreditch. Where else do I love? Coldrops Yard is great in King's Cross. Trying to think where else I love in London. That might be it off the top of my head. There's more places, but off the top of my head, those ones. And Al says, my name is Tallulah. Sorry, Tallulah. I've been calling you your username, but it's good to know what your name is. Tallulah, I like that name. Johnny says, I live in NW5. Have you been to my neighbourhood recently? I have not, because I'm in West London and we're in lockdown. Yeah, Schnault says, I love Marylebone. Marylebone's great. I really love it there. I think the buildings are beautiful. The shops in the area are beautiful. And I could just walk around in Marylebone, take a left, take a right, take a left, just see where I end up and just enjoy the walk. I really like that area. Right, do I have any? Oh yes, I've got another favourite I can share with you guys. And then we might start wrapping up for the evening because we would have been here for nearly an hour. And I think it's bedtime. But the last one is coffee related. Speaking of sleep, although this is decaf. So decaf obviously has a little bit of caffeine in it, but it's a lot less than standard coffee, and I'm all about the decaf. But typically decaf at home, I've not really, like I found like M&S decaf coffee is really nice and I do enjoy drinking it. But when I was going out and getting like a decaf cappuccino from somewhere, I found it was really, really like a different experience. And then Little's Coffee, which is like a brand of instant coffee, they do great flavors of coffee. We've tried the hazelnut one, the vanilla one, and then this one is the chocolate caramel. And we tried all of them in the normal standard caf version, but then we found out that they do it in the decaf version, which is so good. I can't show you guys, but we're literally like halfway through this and we got it a week ago. It's so good. So if you want decaf or caf and you want really nice flavored instant coffee that's easy to make, have a look at this brand, Little's. We found this in Waitrose. They probably sell it in Sainsbury's and other places. I don't think they have it in Whole Foods actually, but they have it in Waitrose. Have a look for it. I highly recommend it. It's delicious. I have it every morning. And then the last favorite, don't I have any other favorites? I wanted to talk about this a little bit actually, guys. This is the Wild natural deodorant. You would have seen loads of like Instagrammers and YouTubers talking about this. You can basically refill your deodorant, Smells great. It's a natural deodorant and it comes in this aluminium tin. And all of the like YouTubers and Instagrammers who have been doing paid campaigns with Wild always say like, this works. Like the best thing about this deodorant is this works. So it's like a key phrase in the campaign. And I really wanted to try it because I've been using natural deodorant for about 2.5 years now. So has Alan. Typically we wear Schmidt's natural deodorant, have worn it for ages. Just a disclaimer, one time Schmidt's did send me a whole box of their deodorants, but that was after I mentioned that I loved using them. Then they sent me the box and we used that. But since then we've bought probably, I don't know, 8 more deodorants from Schmidt's because we genuinely like Schmidt's. But I just wanted to say that as a disclaimer because in England you have to declare things like that. So I'm declaring that. But the thing with Schmidt's is it is a deodorant that's natural, no chemicals, and it does work, but it has a plastic container. Whereas Wild, supposedly according to all these Instagrammers and YouTubers, works. It's natural deodorant and it's in an aluminium case that you can refill. You're not going to use any plastic waste. And it's meant to be really good. So I got this before Christmas. It says on the packaging to give it 2 weeks to work. And I say that is definitely true. The first couple weeks I found I was still smelling a little bit at the end of the day. Well, not still, like I wouldn't smell until the end of the day. Whereas now I find that if, you know, I can put this on and by the end of the day, I kind of smell, you know, not too bad. Like I'll just have a shower, problem solved. So I think it is pretty good and it does work. And considering it's in a reusable case, I think I'll be sticking with this for now over Schmidt's. Schmidt's, is that what it's called? Yeah. But in the summer, we will see again. Obviously, I'm not really going anywhere at the moment. It's cold. I'm not sweating. So I really think we'll mainly be putting this to the test in the summer when I'm cycling. So we can definitely do that. But if you've also seen people talking about Wild deodorant with this aluminium case and you wanted to see, like, I haven't been contacted by them, this is not sponsored, like, paid for this myself, bought my sister one for Christmas as well. So we both got to try it. My sister loves it as well. And I really like it too. And it's reusable, so waste free. So if you've been thinking about getting it, that's like a non-ad tip on it, that it is good, but you need to give your body some time to get used to it. And then lastly, we can talk about this. This is the Lovely Goods Winter Spice Candle. I mentioned this in last week's live, probably in vlogs recently too. You can see we have used a lot of it. We're literally like down to here in this. And this is so gorgeous. And I wanted to mention this because I don't know how long they're going to have the winter spice flavour. It's something that you could use all winter now. It's not just for Christmas. It smells so good. It's like cloves, cinnamon, orange, cardamom, and it smells amazing. We absolutely love burning it, as you can see. And it's £20, so really reasonable price, sustainable, UK-based, small business, definitely worth supporting, and a really lovely candle. Something nice to have for yourself too. So that's another favourite and definitely something I would recommend. So let's have a look at what you guys are saying. So Dawn Marie says, this was such a nice way to spend an hour. I'm so glad, you guys, because I think at the moment, like, we need things to do and we need distractions. And I think lives, like live in lockdown, that's something that me and Alan want to do more of. And yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy these. And then Tallulah says, very uplifting during these lockdown times. So that's very good to hear as well. And hopefully as well earlier, you know, when I was talking about like the toolbox of things you can do if you are having a bad time, like maybe I could make a dedicated video to that if you guys would want to see that, and I can do it based on like a toolbox specifically for when you're not feeling good. So like those things and some other things you might be able to do. Would that be helpful if I did that in a video so that you don't have to refer back to an hour-long live? Let me know if that's something you would want to see. So Katerina says you can make your own deodorant. It's very easy. Coconut oil and bicarbonate of soda in a 1-to-1 ratio. So there we go. If you guys want to make your own deodorant, that is a good tip from Katerina. My hair is so cute and preppy. Thanks. Ding ding. It's like happy on this side. I don't know what it's doing on this side. £20 is pricey for a candle. I think it's pretty good because I typically used to buy my candles from Diptyque, so for me, this is like good for a candle. I also love that it's like sustainable, ethically sourced, it's in glass, so it's waste-free, and it's supporting a UK business. So for me, it's worth it. Plus, guys, trust me, it smells really, really good. And we burn this like every day, basically, and we've come to here. So we are fairly denting it. But I have to say as well, like when this isn't lit, you can smell it in the room. Like our living room always smells amazing. Schneltz says, have you tried the Headspace app? The first 10 days are free and it's such a great app, currently on offer for $34.99 for the year. Yes, I have the Headspace app, really like it. I love their sleep casts, we listen to those, and I love the sleep sounds. Is that what it's called? The music. That's very relaxing as well. I really like those. So Headspace is a really good app. Katerina says, I love the Calm app. I haven't used the Calm app typically mainly because I had the subscription for Headspace, but I think that's coming to an end soon. So should I try Calm over Headspace? I saw Harry Styles did a Calm meditation, and I really think that would be very good. So maybe I should try that. Okay, we're getting Calm recommendations. And I have seen Sam as well, the Headspace show on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I have seen it's on there. Okay, and apparently the sleep stories on the Calm app are good too. So maybe I could switch over to Calm soon and see how I like that. Right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. I hope you all had a good evening, have a good rest of the evening, and enjoyed spending the hour with me. I've really enjoyed spending the hour with you. I'm very tired now. My throat's feeling a little bit like, because I was also on the phone for 2 hours at work this afternoon. Then had a nice chat with my family before this, so my voice has been plenty used today, so it probably needs some rest. Nancy just said that she suffered a loss as well and was recommended to read Many Masters, Many Lives. Okay, I've read Many Lives, Many Masters, Many Masters, Many Lives. With the psychiatrist? And that was a really, really interesting book. I find it really hard with this stuff, guys. Like before my mum died, I was very clear on like what I believed in. And then since then, like I worry and doubt it a lot. Like, what if it's not true? What if she's not with me? And like I worry a lot about those things. So I don't know when I listen to all these other things, even though I used to be like I am like 100% like I do believe we have souls. But sometimes I wonder, where is my mum's soul? Like, I mean, there's a lovely glare on my screen this whole time. So, and I get a lot of like synchronicities where I think she's with me and things like that. But you can't help but doubt it because you're so desperately clasping for something more physical. Yeah. It's really hard. Like I find I want to come here and like have a distraction for us all and for myself because it is so helpful, and hopefully it's helpful to you guys because so much is going on right now. And then the other side of me is so sad and so heavy. Sometimes it feels like my grief is heavy on my head and then the whole way down my body, and it's just pulling me down. And I'm trying to stand up with it and learn how to stand up with it. And like there are still, moments where I might feel okay for a bit and I'll have joy and experience joy. And I think that's a good thing. I couldn't get there before, but now I can start to get there. But it's hard, Yeah, so I think the thing is we'll end this then with just saying like if you're having a hard time, if you've lost someone or if you've not lost someone, if you're just struggling with things at the moment with how things are, just have to be really kind and gentle to ourselves. Show up for yourself and do what works for you, I think is the main thing. Yeah, I literally keep reading you guys' comments and I could stay here forever, but I think the best thing would be for me to go and rest my voice. I need to do the washing up, so lucky me. And I will see you guys very soon. Yes, maybe next time we'll talk about silly things, but these things to talk about are good as well. It's good for us to feel like we're not alone. Like when I see you guys talking about these things in the comments and in the chat and you send me messages, I feel, less alone, and hopefully you guys can feel that from this too. But yeah, have a good evening. And Anne should be back with us next week. That will be nice because I always love it when he's with us too. And I know you guys enjoy seeing him too. Yeah, have a good evening, and I will see you very soon, guys. Now I need to figure out how to end this. Here we go, end stream. Okay, bye.